Have you ever noticed how some people just don't ask for help? Not when they're overwhelmed, not when they're clearly exhausted, not even when they're drowning. Maybe that person is someone in your life, or maybe it's you. You're the one who figures it out, the one who carries the weight, the one who says, "I've got it," even when you absolutely don't. And from the outside, it looks strong, independent, capable. But here's the thing. There's a hidden psychology behind people who never ask for help. And it's usually not about strength at all. Picture this. It's late at night. You're staring at your laptop. You've been trying to solve the same problem for 2 hours. You know you could text someone, a colleague, a friend, anyone. You even open the message app, and then you close it. I'll figure it out. You tell yourself it's faster, easier, less awkward. You don't want to bother anyone. You don't want to look incompetent. You don't want to owe someone anything, so you stay up another hour. And this is important. That moment, when you almost reach out but don't, tells you more about your psychology than you think. Because people who never ask for help aren't just independent, they're usually protecting something. Now, this is where it gets interesting. On the surface, refusing help looks like confidence, but often underneath, there's a quiet belief running in the background. If I need help, I'm weak. If I can't handle this alone, I'm not enough. If I depend on someone, they might let me down. That's not confidence. That's protection. And protection makes sense. Most patterns like this don't appear randomly. They form early. If you grew up in an environment where emotions weren't welcomed, where asking for help was met with irritation, dismissal, or unpredictability, your nervous system learned something powerful. It learned that needing things is risky. So you adapted. Maybe you became the mature one, the self-sufficient one, the easy child, the one who didn't cause trouble. And people praised you for it. You're so independent. You never need anything. You're so strong. But here's what nobody talks about. Sometimes independence isn't freedom. It's armor. And armor is heavy. Research on attachment patterns shows that people who lean toward avoidant attachment styles often minimize their needs. Not because they don't have them, but because expressing them once felt unsafe. Their brain learned that self-reliance equals survival. That's not independence, that's survival. And survival patterns are brilliant. They work until they don't. Because when you never ask for help, something subtle starts to happen inside you. You begin to equate love with usefulness. You show up for everyone. You solve. You fix. You support. But when it's your turn, you shrink. You tell yourself, it's not a big deal. I can handle it. They have enough going on. You become the strong one in every room. Looks strong, feels exhausting. And the exhaustion isn't just physical, it's emotional. There's a quiet loneliness that comes with being the person who never needs anything. Now, I want to open a loop here, because later we're going to talk about why accepting help can actually feel physically uncomfortable, almost threatening for some people. And once you understand that, everything shifts. But first, let's talk about identity. When you've spent years being the self-reliant one, it becomes part of who you are. You don't just handle things alone, you are the one who handles things alone. So asking for help doesn't just feel inconvenient, it feels like an identity crack. If I ask for help, who am I then? This is why some people will struggle in silence even when support is right in front of them. Take someone like Sarah. Imagine her for a moment. She's the friend everyone calls during a crisis. She listens, she advises, she shows up. But when she went through her own breakup, she told almost no one. She posted normal photos, kept smiling, said she was fine. Inside, she was unraveling. When someone finally asked if she needed anything, she said, "No, I'm good." She wasn't good. But accepting help felt like losing control. And here's why. For many people, help comes with an unconscious fear of debt. If you help me, I owe you. If I owe you, I'm vulnerable. If I'm vulnerable, you have power. And if your early experiences involved unpredictability, control, or emotional inconsistency, your brain associates vulnerability with danger. So it does what it was designed to do. It avoids. This isn't weakness. It's a nervous system doing its job. Remember that open loop about help feeling physically uncomfortable? Let's go there. When you've built your safety around self-reliance, receiving help can activate your threat response. Your body may feel tense. Your chest tightens. You get the urge to say, "It's okay, I've got it." That's not pride. That's your nervous system scanning for risk. Studies on stress responses show that some people cope by mobilizing, doing more, taking control, staying hyper-capable. Asking for help interrupts that pattern. It forces stillness. It forces exposure. And exposure feels unsafe. So your brain whispers, "Just handle it yourself." But that's not the full story. There's another layer. People who never ask for help often fear being seen at their most human. Because if someone sees your confusion, your sadness, your overwhelm, they see your imperfections. And if you grew up equating love with performance, that's terrifying. You learned, maybe unconsciously, that being needed earned approval. But needing others? That was risky. So you stay impressive. You stay capable. You stay fine. And over time, something subtle happens. Your relationships become slightly imbalanced. You know everything about them. They know very little about what you carry. And this is important. Intimacy isn't built on strength. It's built on mutual vulnerability. If you never ask for help, people may admire you, but they don't always feel close to you. Because closeness requires letting someone see where you wobble. Now here's the part that might surprise you. Sometimes people who never ask for help secretly wish someone would insist. They want someone to notice the cracks, to push gently past the "I'm fine," to stay. But they won't say that out loud, because saying it would mean admitting they need, and needing still feels dangerous. So what happens instead? Resentment. You start thinking, why does no one check on me? Why am I always the strong one? Why does no one show up for me the way I show up for them? But here's the quiet truth. People can't respond to needs you never reveal, and revealing them feels like walking into the unknown. This is where we begin to shift perspective. The goal isn't to suddenly become someone who asks for help every 5 minutes. It's not about swinging to the opposite extreme. It's about recognizing that your self-reliance was an adaptation, a smart one. It protected you. It helped you succeed. It made you dependable. But you're allowed to update your strategies, because strength and vulnerability aren't opposites. They're partners. Real strength isn't never falling. It's letting someone see you when you do. And here's something subtle. When you allow others to help you, you give them something too. You give them trust. You give them significance. You give them the experience of being there for you. Connection is reciprocal. And if you've been carrying everything alone, you might not realize how much space you're allowed to take up. You are not more lovable when you're low maintenance. You are not more worthy when you're self-contained. And you are not safer just because you don't ask. Sometimes the bravest thing your nervous system can learn is this: I can need and still be okay. Maybe it starts small, letting someone carry a box, admitting you're overwhelmed, saying, "Actually, could you help me with this?" It might feel awkward at first. It might feel exposing. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means you're stretching beyond an old survival pattern. And that's growth. So if you're someone who never asks for help, I want you to see this differently. You're not cold. You're not distant. You're not too independent. You adapted. You survived. You built competence like armor. But armor isn't meant to be worn all the time. Sometimes it's safe to set it down. And maybe the next time you open that message app and hesitate, you pause. Not to force yourself, just to notice. To ask yourself gently, what am I protecting right now? That awareness alone changes things. If this resonated with you, I'd love to know in the comments. Are you the strong one in your circle? The fixer? The one who rarely needs anything? And if you want to explore more of these hidden psychological patterns, the quiet ones that shape your identity without you realizing, you might want to watch the next video. Because sometimes understanding the pattern is the first moment you're no longer controlled by it. And that's where real strength begins.